Good morning, Buckeye fans. Welcome to the Morning Scoop for Friday, June 5th, 2020. I'm Tom Orr of BuckeyeScoop.com, and this is your daily Buckeye Fix. Today we're joined by Mick Walker, one of the recruiting analysts for Buckeye Scoop. Mick is a young talent, and no less than Bill Green has called him the next Bill Green. I'm not an expert, but that seems good. Mick, welcome to the show, and can you just let everyone know a little bit about how you got hooked up with Buckeye Scoop and what you'll be doing for the site?
Yeah, thank you, Tom, for having me on. It feels like an honor to be on the second episode that we're putting out. But yeah, as most people can read when they go onto the site, when they saw the site yesterday on my Why I'm Here piece, I started doing all this about a year ago. It'll be a year ago to the day after this is released. So June 6th, I went to an Ohio State one-day camp out there, out on the Woody, and I ran into Bill. I ran into guys like Mark. Obviously, Alex is in New York, but I ran into those guys. And ever since then, I've started posting on the Bucknuts message boards, and then I posted a little bit. I got hired by a place called Land Grant Holy Land. I worked there for the summer, and then I got an internship at 11 Warriors, and now through that whole process, I've stayed close with Bill, grown a relationship with Mark, and both of them like my work ethic and getting out on the road, which I enjoy to do. So that's why they looked at me and they wanted to have me on, and it's just an honor to be with those guys, learn from them while I'm in college, and hopefully beyond that, and just grow the Scoop network.
You mentioned your work ethic and the fact that you like to get out on the road. Mick has been a little bit of a curve wrecker for the Buckeye Scoop staff this week. We just launched yesterday. How many different recruits have you already talked to and put up video interviews with just this week on the site?
I don't want to give you an inaccurate number. So I know it's more than 5. I've made like 9 different stops since June 1st. Mark even had to call me 2 days ago to make sure I wasn't putting out any more videos, so that way he could stay ahead of the curve and catch up on all the things we've done. But it's just been great to get out and see these guys, build these connections, build it all up, and really get the coaches and everybody else around them knowing about Buckeye Scoop to grow the brand, not just with the readers, but with the parents and with the coaches around Ohio. I think it's going to be a great thing for not only Ohio State commits, Ohio State recruits, but really just the state of Ohio, because all the connections that Mark, Bill have inside the state, it's going to be a great time.
And the timing is actually pretty good, because just as the site is launching and just as you're kind of heading out on the road for the site, things are starting to open up, and you're getting high school players starting to work out, teams starting to work out a little bit, and things are, after 2 months of everyone kind of being in lockdown and in quarantine, things are actually starting to open up again, and you were able to actually get out and talk to guys about workouts and what they're doing and what they've been doing over the last couple months.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys, since they're Division I athletes, they've had a place and an outlet to work out, but it's been great to see like high school programs and open back up, because it's not only at this point. I mean, I went to Lakota West, I went to LaSalle. It's not even just about seeing the guys there, even though I love to talk to those commits, but talking to their coaches, learning about who's going to be next at LaSalle. Like LaSalle's got Jyaire Brown in 2022, and he's a guy that has big offers, Michigan, Penn State. He might be on Ohio State's radar. Just getting to see him, getting to see all these guys that are coming up, learn about the program, and continue to grow connections with the coaching staff. It's just been great to get back on the road and see things opening up. And hopefully we can get a college, high school and college football season, because I know it's going to be big. I know I've got all the Ohio-based commits on my schedule to see. I think Bill and Mark have some bigger trips maybe out in the works. I don't want to talk about any super advanced plans, but I know it's going to be a great fall as long as we can get some games and get out to see these guys play live.
Yeah, they have started sharing some of the stuff that's on the docket for the fall if everything sort of stays on schedule, and it is really, really exciting. I'm really pumped about some of the stuff that they're talking about doing and potentially getting together. We're going to wrap up with a little bit of basketball talk, but first let's go through some of the football guys that you've talked about and met with this week. Jyaire Brown, Thursday, Nevada had his first Nevada scoop of the Buckeye Scoop era. Jyaire Brown is on the move, and you actually had spoken to him this week as well. Can you share a little bit about what you learned with Jyaire Brown?
Yeah, so as everybody sort of knew, a few weeks ago he announced that he wasn't going to be returning to Warren Easton High School down in New Orleans. I don't want to get into the personal things about it, but his family had a little bit of a quarrel with the coaching staff. But luckily, he already had family that up back in the city of Cincinnati, and that's one of the reasons why Ohio State took him and Ohio State wanted him so badly. So now the plan is that he definitely is coming back up to Ohio to play high school football next year. It's going to be in the Cincinnati area. I'm not exactly... Okay, he knows what school, but he just can't talk about it right now. We got to process all the paperwork. But once that's done, we should have that out here in a few weeks. And hopefully some Buckeye fans get down and see him this fall after spending his first few years in New Orleans.
Yeah, he sounded, in the video that you shot, he sure sounded excited to be back in Ohio. And, that also puts him in a position to maybe be a little bit of a recruiter for the Buckeyes. Is that something that he's looking at maybe doing this fall as well?
Yeah, so far in the 2022 class, they obviously have Tager Tashabola and CJ Hicks. Tager is, as most people can see from the video I shot with him, he's a soft-spoken guy that is just sort of, he's not much of a outward-speaking recruiter type as some of these guys have been in the past. He's not going to be like Jyaire, where he's going to go up and talk to guys, or even CJ, where those two guys are really spearheading it. And I think Jyaire is really looking forward to getting to talk to some of these guys like Gabe Powers, Blake Miller, and getting to come up and see all these games next fall, and really just being a recruiter and getting to know all the other, not even 22 commits, but 21s, and obviously the high-end 2023 targets. Like, there's a few names in Ohio. I'll drop Brennan Vernon and Luke Montgomery, two names that I think Ohio State fans will get to know in 2023, but that's down the line. I think Jaire's just excited to get to know all these guys in this class in Ohio.
You mentioned CJ. I know you also got to go see CJ Hicks, who was another commit for Ohio State. He's for the 2022 class. Number 162 player overall, number 15 athlete, number 3 player in the state of Ohio in the 247 composite. But he is obviously not going to be an athlete when he plays at Ohio State. Where do the Ohio State coaches see him fitting in on the Ohio State team when he does show up on campus?
Well, what the word is, what they tell him is the bullet position. But for most Buckeye fans that watch the season, watch how the games played out last year, the bullet position is more of a linebacker that's athletic, and I think that's evident of where they want him to play because Al Washington's his lead recruiter. He was talking to me about how he's hoping to play some middle linebacker, hopefully call his defense this fall. And I mean, when I saw him this past fall, he was playing some corner and he was in the probably 200-pound range. Right now, he's already up to 215, looking to get to 225 and in the 225, 220 range for season. That way, he's really thickening up. I even made a comment to him when I saw him in person the other day that he's looking a lot bigger than I saw him in the fall. It's not even that he's added 15 pounds, which is a lot, but just the tone on his body and the muscle that he's added, it's crazy. And he's going to be, hopefully, as long as he continues to fill out and gets in with Coach Marotti, he should be a great linebacker, even safety hybrid at Ohio State when his time comes. Next,
guys you talked to, you got a twofer, you got a double dip. You got Devonte Smith and Jaylen Johnson, both at LaSalle in Cincinnati, the two high school teammates who are both committed to the Buckeyes. Devonte, he was a guy who committed during the quarantine. Like, it was when the world kind of went on lockdown, that was when he went, okay, well I'm going to pull the trigger now. I mean, CJ Hicks was the same way. What did he have to say about, what made him kind of decide to pull the trigger and become a Buckeye?
Well, him and Jalen are actually very close. Right before all this stuff sort of shut down, right when the live period opened back up, and I believe in the beginning of March, sometime in February, I can't remember the exact dates. Jalen took a visit with Devonte to the University of Cincinnati while he was committed to Ohio State, and the plan was for Jalen to take a visit with Devonte to Alabama when Devonte was going to go down at the end of March. Those two are very close, and just throughout the process, Devonte didn't get to visit. I don't think he's got to visit. Maybe he's gotten to visit once at Ohio State, but Jalen was able to really fill in the blanks, get him up to speed, and get everything he needed to know about Ohio State, and that's what he was really telling me. Why he felt comfortable committing at the time.
I saw you got them kind of during workouts or right after workouts with their team. What did they have to say about getting back on the field and being back with their team? Like, what has that been like for them after not being able to do a whole lot for a couple months?
Yeah, for anybody who follows Ohio high school football, LaSalle is a very proud program. They're a very historic brand when it comes to a football product, and that's their plan. They beat Jane Ballard's Massillon team last fall for a state championship at the Division II level, and they're just really excited to get back out. They have a high-powered team. all their defensive backs are going Division I, Cincinnati, obviously 2 to Ohio State, and their fourth one has a ton of MAC offers and small school offers. So they just felt great to be back out. Jalen was looking bigger than when I saw him in the fall. I think he's really starting to fill into that linebacker spot that Ohio State might put him down as a hybrid, sort of like CJ Hicks. And Devonte, I know there were some questions originally when they were looking at committing about height, whether he's 5'10", 6 foot, 6'1", 5'9". I think he's right there in that 5'11" range, and everything is perfect with him, and they're just both happy to be back working out.
I think I heard you mention that Jaylen Johnson on your video was coming off a little bit of an injury. Is he kind of back to full health? Is he good to go for this year?
Yeah. So when I was down there in the workouts, he had it. They put him on upper body stuff. He had some variation lifts, but he had a operation after the season. He's been rehabbing, doing good. Obviously with the shutdown, I imagine it's been hard to get the full rehab. Sort of like I imagine Jack Sawyer had to deal with it with his knee. Some of these guys that would commonly go to healthcare professionals often to get the rehab have probably struggled with it. But I know Jalen's been working very hard, and his plan is to be back 100% by the time the season starts. He's probably 85-90% right now. It's just more tweaking and getting used to the movements and building the muscle back up to where he wants it to be.
And before we let you go, we got to talk a little bit of basketball as well. Your first piece on the site was about a borderline, almost 5-star. He's number 25 player overall, shooting guard, 4th-ranked shooting guard in the 2021 class, number 2 player in Ohio. Goes to LeBron James's high school, which is, that's a good start. Go ahead and run us through a little bit about what we need to know about Malachi Branham.
Yeah, so obviously in my piece I put out about Malachi is numero uno on the Ohio State recruiting board when it comes to that, and then I think 5-star small forward Kendall Brown's right behind him. But when it comes to Malachi, he's got a ton of different offers from all across the country, but he's just not a very outwardly vocal guy, and I think he enjoys being in Columbus where his mom lives. His recruitment's probably got a little ways before it finishes up, but I have a hard time not liking where Ohio State's at, and hopefully they can seal the deal there. You said number 2 player in Ohio. I said on our video that he's number 1. The guy ahead of him is Charles Bediako. He's from Canada, plays for Spire Academy in Ohio, but even their separation from 1 and 2 isn't that different. I think Malachi is the best player in Ohio. I saw him last winter, and if you go out and check the video out in our interview with Malachi, the whole question's about whether he's a shooter, but I saw him in a workout, and I probably put his numbers at 60-75% today, and it's just working on it, getting consistent shots, and that's what he was telling me. That's what he told me in the interview. That's what he told me in the video. That's what he's in Columbus working with Jason Dawson down here in Columbus. That's what his goal is, to get the shot consistent and build it up to where everybody can say he is a shooter along with being a slasher, defender, and he's an all-around player. That's what he's working to fill his game out about.
Do you have a preference for covering football recruiting or basketball recruiting? Do you have a favorite sport or favorite region or favorite position or something to cover? Like what is your do you have a favorite part of recruiting to cover?
Oh man, so I'd probably say that probably the most fulfilling thing about recruiting is trying to find guys that are lower recruited and trying to build those guys up. But my favorite part is really just getting to know these guys. Ohio has the benefit of being a very talented class in 2021 in football, in basketball, in wrestling. Just a lot of these larger sports in Ohio, they are very talented. Obviously, with Jack Sawyer being a top 5 guy, with Malachi being a top 30 guy. Some of the wrestlers on the board, I don't know if any fans are interested in that, but some of the wrestlers are top 5 on nationally guys. 2021 is a very in-depth class and very talented. So that's really just the exciting part that I love the most is getting to know these guys. As far as sports, I love football, where my heart and soul is. That's like I put in my why I'm here. I used to skip school when I was in 3rd, 4th grade, not for National Signing Day, stay home. But obviously with Bill here, with Mark here, with Alex here, I want to make sure that the guys that the subscribers here were getting a full view of not only the football coverage, but the basketball coverage. And I think obviously with you and Tony being able to do some of the beat stuff this winter when the season hopefully opens up, and I'm going to be out on the road. I'll go see Michi Johnson. I'll go see Caitlin Etzler. I'll see Malachi Branham, and maybe he'll be committed by that point. I plan on seeing Bowen, all the Bowen Hartman, all the different Ohio guys that are committed. I'll be out there to see on the basketball court, and hopefully that we can just build up this basketball brand. So we're not only just a football recruiting site, but we're an all around Ohio State recruiting website, and it's going to be great.
Thank you for joining us on the Morning Scoop. That'll do it for Friday morning. We will be back on Monday with a new edition of the show, and Monday, Ohio State football players back on campus starting to work out, actually happening in person. It's not quite the full team, but at this point, that's okay. This is major progress. We'll have a whole bunch of new reporting on Monday all about that. But in the meantime, be sure to check out BuckeyeScoop.com to see all of Mick's reporting, as well as the rest of our incredible team: Bill, Nevada, Alex, Kirk Barton, Ross Fulton, Tony Gerdeman, the whole gang, all at BuckeyeScoop.com. We will see you on Monday.